So, Bryan, we have asked you here to tell us about Pamela Barbeau, your mother.
Yes, that is correct.
And are you ready to tell the world all about your struggles growing up?
Yes, yes, I am. It has taken many years of therapy and support, but I do feel that I am ready today. But I warn your viewers that what you're about to see may be disturbing. Pamela grew up in a small town near St. Louis, Missouri, daughter to Patsy Wallace and Robert Wallace. Though her parents had split at a young age, Pamela and her brother prospered and grew with loving grandparents and a single working mother. It would be years later that she would reconcile with her father, who had gone on to start another family. A few other families. Is a few two? Or does that count as three? Was it three? I digress. After a failed youthful marriage to some dude with a weird last name, Pamela found love in a coworker, Dennis Barbeau. He was everything she was looking for, and soon their story began. As the teaching of wise men say, first came love, then came marriage, then came the baby in a baby carriage. Bryan with a Y was born. He was the most badass baby, even from day one. Such looks, such talent. Truly it was a miracle. But hidden in this happy story is a tale of struggle and pain.
Bryan, you wanted to start with a story about your mother on Christmas. I think we can all agree this should be a happy time with family and friends. Can you tell us more?
Yes, whew. So, it was Christmas Eve. And in our family, we have a tradition of making pizza the night before Christmas. Homemade pizza. Well, somewhat homemade. Like, we didn't make the dough. That would have been too much. We all would get Pillsbury dough in the can. And that year it was my job to get the dough spread out evenly across the pizza. I got it out, put it on a pan. But yet, as I tried to spread it to the edges of the square pan that we would use for pizza, not round as you would normally use, I couldn't get it to the edges, and it just kept slipping back. And eventually, out of frustration from my mother, she hit me. She hit me over the head with a pizza pan.
Oh my god. Did you have to go to the hospital? Was Child Protective Services involved?
I mean, no, I was fine. It was just a thin piece of baking sheet. But it was just really surprising. Like, bam! And naturally, to this day, I have anxiety attacks anytime I need to make a homemade pizza. Traditionally, I just order out.
Shocking. So, another story that you told me about your mother was that she sent you on a train ride at like the age of 5? Is that right?
When I initially had told you that, yes, that's correct. But I was later found out I was 10. But still, yes. So we had traveled to St. Louis to visit our family. My parents and I, we had moved away, many states we had lived in. And when we come to town, we had many stops to complete. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, the works, friends. My parents grew up in St. Louis. And many of them were fully across the entire state, so it wasn't close by. And one day, while hanging out with my mother, while my father was visiting our grandparents, there came a conflict in scheduling, so to say, right? My mom's friend wanted to meet her, and my uncle wanted me to come out to the farm to visit him. So it was my mother's idea that I should be able to take a train to visit my uncle a couple cities away. So she drove me to the train station. She gave me a ticket and essentially left me there. She told me that I had to get off at 2 stops, not 1, not 3, 2 stops, and my uncle would be there to pick me up.
But that doesn't sound hard.
I was 10 years old. I still remember all sorts of creepy people sitting next to me, asking me if I wanted candy. There was homeless people. It was quite scary for a 10-year-old.
But did you make it to your stop?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I got off in 2 stops. I could count to 2 by the time I was 10. I met my uncle and had a great time at his farm.
That's not even really a big deal then.
But think about what could have happened.
Nothing happened. You know what? Never mind. Maybe the next one will be better.
Sure, okay. So the last story I have is a very terrifying incident. When I was a toddler, I would suck my thumb, and I would apparently bite my thumb as well as part of that process, which would cause my thumb to be infected. So one day, my mother knew that my thumb was infected, and she needed to cleanse the wound, and called me into her office. Her office was dimly lit with dark carpets and dark shades all around. But to me, this was a frightening event. I mean, she looked menacing and devilish, to say. But as she called me closer to the desk, I could feel myself being even more fearful. And once I arrived there, she pulled out what seemed to be a 9-inch blade, a needle that would pop the blister on my thumb. I was scared. I mean, it was almost like a dream or a nightmare. Once she pulled out the needle, she grabbed my thumb and popped the blister, which was just so painful, so painful. But then she gave me a Band-Aid and sent me on my way.
Why would you bite your thumb? Sounds like it's your fault. It was harder torture if she gave you a Band-Aid.
Well, that's how I remember it, and it was scary stuff.
You know, it sounds like you had a normal mother. Dealing with a little shit like you. That's a wrap, team. Pack it up. Show's a bus. Goddamn waste of my time. Give me my goddamn papers. Over it. Let's go, team. Shut it down. It's a waste of our time. Why are we even bother? He's a nobody. Good night. Alright, goodbye.
Happy Mother's Day! We love you.
We love you.
Bye.